Well, well, well. So, has anything interesting happened today? Hey, playa. I've literally never said that before in my life. Hey, playa. Well, so unless somebody missed the news, is everybody watching the news today? Yeah, is this the best movie you've ever watched? I don't mean this one. I'm talking about the election this year. Damn you, Captain, my captain. You make me laugh every time. Yeah, let me show you the weather out here. My hammock. It's backyard. I think you all know who that is. Say hi to Snickers. All right, we got 5. Apparently, I have to start saying things, unless you just want to look at my dog. So, let's think back in our time machine, way back last year. Do you remember when there was this cartoonist who said, "No, Trump is just opening with an aggressive first offer"? And when it comes right down to it, this whole Mexican immigration thing is not going to be what you think it is right now. It's going to be reasonable. You don't recall? That's my gloating face. Gloat. No, it's too early to gloat because anything can happen. Every week seems to be different. But the truth is that there had been some people predicting that Trump would win on issues, and here I'm down my face. And as far as I know, there's only one person watching the race who ever said that the only thing that matters is Trump himself. And I think that was me. So as you've seen now that he seems to be able to win with any immigration policy whatsoever. Oh, God. This is the funniest day. So here's the thing. Let me enjoy work. This hammock is great. I'm really comfortable. But here's the thing. You all know the Nixon went to China thing. If you're old, you know that anyway. So sometimes the only person who can change something is the person on the inside. So not only did Trump change the GOP, I think he got inside it, he hollowed it out, and he wore it as skin. I said that on the Rubin Report. I shouldn't. So you'll see me say that again on Friday if you see the link. So consider this. Do you know what pacing and leading is? Have you ever heard of pacing and leading? It's a word from hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming and all that. And it has what the hell was that? You're probably asking. You're probably saying to yourself, "Hey, I was just on this Periscope a minute ago and it disappeared." So the one problem with this Periscope stuff is that, the problem is I had an incoming call and it just knocked off the application. Get a better phone. I don't know if any phone would make a difference. It's not the phone. I just had an incoming call that knocked me off. I think it does that intentionally. I'm not sure. All right. Well, it looks like everybody's back. So I was going to tell you about Trump and something called pacing and leading. And that's a process whereby you first match somebody, and you could match them in any way. You could match their breathing, you could match their speaking style, match their body language, you could match just anything they're doing. If you match it, then later people will feel comfortable with you, and when you start to lead, which is the second part of pacing and leading, is I'm sorry, I'm reading your comments and laughing at the same time. Hazel. Um, so when you lead, after you've paced people a while, then they'll come with you. But if you came in from the beginning and acted like a completely different person with nothing in common with the person you're trying to persuade, and then you ask them to do something or to follow you, they're going to say, why should I? But after you pace them for a while, you can get them to come with you. So what Trump did is he acted like the most Republican, at least in a populist way. So he matched the emotions of the people who were his biggest supporters. In other words, he said, I totally hear you about this immigration. I get it. This is a big, big deal for you. It's not just a big deal. I'm going to make it the biggest deal. I'm going to make that my thing. I'm going to be so for you. I'm more for you than you are for yourself on this immigration. He did for months and months. And when he was done, which I would say was roughly last week, the people who shared that view said, this is our guy. He understands. He understands us not just in words. He understands us emotionally, and that's what they need. They need him to understand them emotionally. But now, he's one of them. And now if he says, hey, I looked into this pretty deeply, and it turns out it's hard to deport 11 million people, and if you really looked at the details, you probably wouldn't want to unless you're the biggest monster in the world. So now he can say to his people, look, emotionally I'm on the same page, but when you dig into the details, we need to be a little more clever about how we deal with this than just shipping everybody home. And I think that's essentially where he is now. And I think the people who are on his side, like he said long ago, he could murder somebody on Fifth Avenue and they'd stay with him, because the alternative is Hillary Clinton, and I just don't see many Republicans going to the alternative. So Trump is doing something that is monumental in a way that historians are going to talk about for a long time, if he pulls it off. By the way, we don't know if he's going to pull all this off yet. But it looks to me like he turned the Republican Party into less of a neocon, let's go to war with anybody who will shoot back, less of a anti-gay organization, to the point where he's trying the hardest to protect them from invasion of ideas that would kill them. He's doing his outreach to the African American community, which people are saying is too little too late, but it's better than nothing, right? So everything seems to be moving in the right direction anyway. So, and guess what? Republicans are liking it. Not all of them, of course, but Republicans are kind of digging being on a winning team. This seems to be on the side of kindness for a change, because it turns out the Republicans weren't assholes to begin with. They just had a different approach about how to get stuff done. And Trump is doing this sort of amazing rebranding of the Republican Party to the pro LGBTQ party, the kind and gentle to Mexico as of today, I guess. And I think the party will go with him. So this is like one of the biggest shifts in the American political landscape, maybe since the Civil War. This is pretty darn big. Kellyanne Conway versus Godzilla. Yeah, well, I think you can say for sure that he's having a good week. Now, it could all go to hell if he gives a speech tonight and it doesn't work out. But if I had to guess, yeah, there's somebody with a nail gun behind me. That's exactly the kind of way that people die when they say things about Hillary Clinton. Nail gun in the back of the head. Total accident. Sorry. Oh, God, that's funny. So, let me tell you another little thing that, one thing that people who don't have a sense of humor don't understand about people who tell insensitive and offensive jokes on any topic is that if you do have a sense of humor, often the thing you're laughing at is not the subject of the joke. It's not the people who look like you're mocking them in the joke. It's usually not that. It's usually that the joke is so awful, meaning that it's so cruel that it goes way beyond the bounds of human decency. And that's what people are laughing at. So what I was laughing at earlier is somebody made a racial comment about the person who's doing the work next door. And it's funny because, first of all, in my neighborhood, it's almost certainly true that it's somebody who came from Mexico recently or not too recently. But it's funny because it's inappropriate. I mean, that's the part that's funny. It has nothing to do with the individual on the roof who's just doing his job and not bothering anybody. But it's funny because it's inappropriate. Anyway, that's why I laughed. Yes. So my dog is running away. So I'm putting on my sun hat here. Gonna chase the dog. I look like a Canadian. Do you have enemies in the cartoonist world? I'm sorry, I'm in a funny mood today. Yes, I do actually have enemies in the cartoonist world, which is why it's funny, because you don't really think it's a dangerous kind of environment being a cartoonist. So I think being an enemy in this context is not too dangerous. All right, we'll take that off. Now, what should I get into? Jurassic Park? What? Yes, I have to make a statement that I am not considering suicide. So if I die in some strange way, remember you heard it here. I'm in a really good mood. Life's great. I'm not considering suicide. Registered gun owner, you mean? Or registered lunatic? Alright, I'm having a little hard time seeing the comments in the sun, but now I can see them. White chocolate Snickers. Will you write a book about the election? You know, a lot of people are asking, but here's the thing. When you write a book, well, I'll tell you this because most of you have not, written a book. When you write a book, and you're me anyway, and you have another full-time job, it's really, really hard, and it sort of ruins your life. Oh, excuse me, I'll have to turn down the TV here for a minute. The process of writing a book kind of ruins your life for the entire time you're writing it, in the situation where you've got a full-time job, as I do. Right? So basically, the book writing time is all the time you would have been able to relax. So it just absorbs all of it. So in order for me to write a book, I've got to be so excited about something about it. Damn it, I've got some kind of weird phantom TV that just turned itself on. What the hell is wrong? Seriously, I turned it off and then I went and sat down and it turned itself on. Get off, TV, get off. There we go. So in order to write a book, because it's so unpleasant if you have another full-time job, I have to be really excited about it. And I don't know how I could still be excited about this election a year after it's over. It just is going to feel like history, and there'll be so much more that's interesting then. So there's a timeliness problem since I haven't started anything like a book. But let me suggest this. Let me just put this out there. Instead of writing a book, suppose I compiled my blog posts from the beginning and interlace that with the events that were happening as I was predicting them, so you could see which ones are right and which ones are wrong, and maybe add a little commentary. But basically, my blog has been sort of a diary of this election. I've been posting, I don't know, 2 to 5 times a week. And so there's quite a bit of content there. I'd have to edit it pretty heavily. But so then when we got to, let's say, Election Day, I would have the book virtually done, and I could release it as an ebook. And sorry, I just got a text message coming in that was hilarious. Do I play the piano? No. How many of you would buy say a Kindle version or just an ebook version of my blog post if I edited it and made it just about Trump and sort of put it in context with world events so you could sort of follow along and see that the predictions were either right or wrong? Yes, 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 yes. Now I'm surprised by that. Let me tell you why. I'm a little skeptical. I'm really skeptical that you would buy that. Let me tell you why. I tried doing a book several years ago that was a compilation of my best posts from my blog of then, way before Trump writing. And people got all over me for repurposing material from my blog. And people said, damn it, it's already free on your blog. Why can you put this in a book and rip us off by making us pay for it? And I would say, nobody's making you pay for it. It's just a more convenient way to read it. And it's edited, and it's got a cover, and, I'm not hiding anything. But people really, really didn't like that idea. So do you think I would not get the same treatment? Because it's been a few years now. The people have a different idea of what's appropriate. You know what it is? I think I'd have to make it ebook only and at a low price. If I took all my blog posts, I'll ask you right here, there's 800 people, so you can answer this. If I put all my blog posts from last year that were just about Trump in ebook form, took it to the end, to Election Day, made sure it was edited and then annotated with world events so you could see what was happening when, what would you pay for it as a Kindle version? So just the ebook version. For somewhere between $6 and $1, 8, 4, 10, 10. There are very few things that are $10 as an ebook. Am I wrong about that? Are there $10 ebooks? Is that even a thing? Up to 10, 10, 10, 10, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 50 cents, 50 cents. Yeah. Interesting. So I don't buy many ebooks, so I don't know even what is normal. Here's what I would think. I would be thinking, $3.99. That's sort of where I went in my head. So at $3.99, I would get, it looks like 75% of you. The Trump Diaries. No, I already have a title for it. So here's the title of the book that hasn't been written. That would just be my blog posts and it, punctuated with the world events as they unfolded. And I think I would call it My Spooky Year. Because to you, this must be spooky as fuck. I mean, for those of you, weigh in if you've been following my writing since the beginning, or even if you went back and caught up. Is this spooky? I mean, seriously. Is there a word that captures this better than just spooky? This is my spooky year. And trust me, this is just the stuff you know about. You have no idea how interesting things are when I turn off the periscope. My life is a fucking roller coaster of delight at the moment. And I don't mean just in a pleasure way, although that's really good too. I just mean that, the stuff I tell you is part of it, and just the stuff I know, or the things that I've come to know in this process, are so amazing that it's unbelievable. You saw me make the prediction a year ago. I'm glad, because then you got to watch it unfold. I just wish I had your home to go through this spooky year. I've taken over your life. What did I learn? I can't tell you everything that I've learned. It's and I don't mean because it's naughty. I mean that there are a lot of confidential information that one learns. Once you sort of get into the belly of the beast, you just learn things that other people don't learn. I can't say there's an Illuminati per se, but the world is way more interesting than you think it is. My persuasive year. Am I down to celebrate? Oh no, it's not. It's not celebration time. What's one thing that I haven't shared with you that I wish I could? Well, I can't. I'll tell you one thing though. One of the big questions people ask me is why I thought from the beginning this would look like a 3-act movie. Because I've never explained that. I just sort of put it out there like it was somehow a reasonable thing to say, and it's not a reasonable thing to say. I mean, not with that explanation. It's completely irrational sounding, but but it looks a lot like a movie at this point, doesn't it? You know, if there is an Illuminati, I would be very disappointed if they don't invite me to join. All right, I need to go because I got some folks delivering something in a moment. That was the text I just got, so got to run. All right, see you people.